Hello, fellow peasants. So today we're going to be doing another tier ranking. That's right. I'm really having fun doing these. So today we're doing the part 2 horror sequel tier ranking. And so what this is these are the second films in a franchise or whatever. So, like Halloween 2, Scream 2, Terrifier 2. There's no part 3s, 4s, whatever. So, just want to clarify that. Our categories today are the same as the categories I use to tier rank remakes, because I think they work. So, the categories today are better than the original, as good as the original, worse than the original, but not bad, bad, and a disgraceful slap in the face to fans. You know, I was going to make new categories, but I was like, those work pretty good. So yeah, we're going to get into it here. Like my Cabela's mug. I got this like 10 years ago at Cabela's, and I just like it. It's got a cabin on it. All right, let's get into it. Number 1, Halloween 2. This is the direct sequel to 1978's Halloween. What would I say? I'm gonna say, I'm gonna put it worse than the original, but not bad. I don't think it's as good as 1978. I don't. I think Michael's too robotic in it. It introduces the brother-sister dynamic, which gives Michael motive, and I don't want Michael to have motive. So, it's worse than the original, but not bad. I do think it's a damn good sequel. It is a damn good sequel, but it's not as good. Okay? Scream 2. For the longest time, I liked Scream 2 more than the original Scream. But over the years, I've appreciated the first Scream more. So, I'm gonna say, this is tough, man. Scream 2. I'm gonna say Scream 2 is as good as the original. I really do. I think it matches the quality of the first film. Some people will say, well, it's not original. It's not original because, it's doing the same thing as the first Scream. Nothing here is like, all the meta had been done before, all the inside joke, whatever. But who cares? Like, you can do the same thing over and over again, but if you're like knocking it out of the park each time, if it's the same level of quality, I don't know. So yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with as good as the original. Scream 2 is as good as the original. Let me cross these off here. Next is Friday the 13th Part 2. Hands down, I think this is better than the original. Definitely. Now, Jason is not, hockey masked Jason and Friday Part 2, but he's Sackhead Jason. I feel like the story's better, the characters are better in Part 2. There's just, overall, it just feels, I don't know, there's just something about Part 2 that just is a notch above the first film. As much as I do like the twist ending with Pamela Voorhees being the killer at the end of the first one, the rest of the film just is a little lackluster for me. But I like the second film more than the first. So, it's better than the original. A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Now, I haven't seen this in a long, long time, okay? And so, when I do these tier rankings, these are films I've either watched recently or my recollection at the time I watched it. So I don't do these. I like everything on here. I've seen. Okay, I've seen this and I've seen the original. I don't like getting on here and talking about things I haven't watched. Okay, so it's been a while since I've seen this, but I remember this film being decent. Like, it's not horrible or anything. I remember Freddy still being creepy in this, and sometimes like there being spots in this film where he's a little more creepier than he was in the first film. You know, it's just even by the second film, I feel Freddy is. It's not until the third film when Nancy comes back in Dream Warriors that you feel some sort of continuity with what's going on. Like in this film, it's just like, okay, Freddy's just going after another person. How does this connect? Maybe I'm misremembering things, but I'm going to have to go with worse than the original, but not bad. Worse than the original, but not bad for this. I remember it being a decent sequel and Freddy being creepy in it. So, yeah. Let me mark that off. Next, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. By the way, I'm excited to go next month to go watch the requel, reboot, whatever. I think the trailer doesn't look bad. It's what you expect 30 years later after after the original. And it's got the chick from Outer Banks in it. Freddie Prinze is coming back. Jennifer Love Hewitt's coming back. I think it looks good. So, but I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. When I was younger, I liked this more than the original. There was something fun about it. And I still have a really good time with it. It's very much a popcorn slasher flick. And you know what? I'm going to say it's as good as the original. And now some people might say, well, no fucking way. No fucking way it's as good as the original. Well, I think it is. I like that they switched it up. They didn't stay in that same college town or not college town, but you know what I mean? The fishing harbor town or whatever. They kind of go off. They win these fake tickets, it wasn't even a real contest. It was set up by the killer to get them to this island during this hurricane. I think it's just as good. Next, The Devil's Rejects. Okay, as someone who I like House of a Thousand Corpses, I was never a massive fan of House of a Thousand Corpses, but I really dig the vibe and the look of that film. This film just kind of, it's just like, I just don't, like, it focuses more on that family and whatever, or whatever the dynamic is. I don't know. I haven't seen this in such a long time, but I remember thinking, what are we doing here? A lot of people like it more than House of a Thousand Corpses, but I do not. Just something about it. It just feels like a poor man's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, in my opinion. If I'm being honest, but without the chainsaw, it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre without Leatherface. So I don't know. I don't care for it. Okay, so I'm gonna say that it's bad. It's bad. I didn't like it. I don't like the film at all. I'm not gonna drop down to a disgraceful slap in the face to fans, because a lot of people who like House of a Thousand Corpses like this movie, but I think it's bad. I can't even put that it's just slightly worse than the original, but not bad. It's bad in my opinion. It's a drop in quality from the first one, I think. Terrifier 2. Oh shit. Okay, Terrifier 2. This is a franchise that I have recently become a fan of. I really like the first one. I went and saw the third one. Me and my cousin went and saw the third one around Christmas this past year. And I really dig these. I didn't really, when I first watched the first Terrifier, I was like, I don't know. Then I revisited it and I was like, okay, I think I get it now. I think I see what they're doing. And where would I put this? Oh shit. I'm gonna say it's better than the original. Okay, Terrifier 2 is better than the original. Because the original it drags out. Now I understand. You're probably thinking, well, the runtime for Terrifier 2 is like forever and a day. Yeah, I get that, but there's shit happening. Okay, like that, the 90-minute runtime for Terrifier feels like forever because nothing's happening. Like the first like 20 minutes to half an hour of the first Terrifier are very intriguing. They get you involved. They get you like your interest is piqued. But then it's just like her sneaking and hiding around in things in this warehouse, whatever this is, for the next hour until the end. Like, I don't know. They could massively cut this film. This should have been like a short film. Like, Terrifier 1 could have been like a 45-minute film. And it would have been better for it, I think. So, and I do like that there's a little bit more backstory to Art, with Sienna's dad and all that shit. And like, there's just, there's more meat on the bones to the story. And I don't always like more backstory to a character. Because I think sometimes that can ruin the character. Things are creepier, less is more. But they already let you know at the end of the first one that he's supernatural. Okay, so it's like, well, gotta explain that. It's not like all of a sudden he's supernatural in 2. So, Terrifier 2, better than the original. The Omen 2. I'm gonna go with, because The Omen is like my third favorite horror film of all time. The Omen 2 is worse than the original, but not bad. Okay, worse than the original, but not bad. I don't think it's as good as the original, but not bad. Like it's slightly in this category. Like it's verging on as good as, but it's not quite there. So it's got to go down in the worse than the original, but not bad. All right. Amityville 2: The Possession. Amityville is another film that I really love. One of my favorite films of all time. Favorite horror films, anyway. And Amityville 2: The Possession is... It's not bad. It still has that feel. Like the house still feels the same. The environment, the tone, the cinematography. It feels like it does feel like they did a good job making it feel like a direct continuation with the look, the tone, everything. I think the story is interesting. I'm going to say that it's worse than the original, but not bad. Worse than the original, but not bad. I've always enjoyed it. I picked it up on DVD at Half Price Books, like, I don't know, a while back. I need to just, like, I wish they would drop this shit on... Like, I wish Amityville 2: The Possession would get a 4K. I would totally pick up Amityville 2 on 4K if they ever release that. You still need to get the Blu-ray. But yeah, worse than the original, but not bad. Next, Hannibal. Hannibal. This is the sequel that came out 10 years later, 10 years later after Silence of the Lambs. You might be thinking, well, why didn't you do Manhunter and Silence of the Lambs? Why didn't you do Silence of the Lambs? Because Manhunter's technically, yeah, but that's in novel book world. Yes, Silence of the Lambs is the direct sequel to Manhunter. But in movie world, they're not. Okay, so yes, Manhunter came out before Silence of the Lambs, but there's a different cast. Different, the original book that Manhunter is based on is called Red Dragon. Okay, so anyway, I had to hit my screen because my battery was... It's like, your battery's getting low, so I'm going to have to wrap this up at some point. Anyway, so, yeah, so Hannibal, I'm going to have to say bad. I did not enjoy Hannibal anywhere near as much as I enjoyed Silence of the Lambs. Is it cool to see Hannibal, like, where, it's cool to see Hannibal pick up where it left off after Silence of the Lambs. The European visuals, like, you know, the setting of him over in Europe is nice. It's a nice difference from all the dark, grayish fall atmosphere of Pennsylvania or wherever the hell he's at in the first few films, because it's always dreary and overcast and stuff like that. In Silence of the Lambs, I don't know. I mean, visually, in terms of location and stuff like that, it's okay because it switches shit up, but I just can't care, really. Just can't care. So I'm going to say it's bad. It's bad. 28 weeks later. All right, 28 weeks later. So I just watched these. I just went and watched 28 Years Later. Go check out that review if you haven't seen it here on the channel. I was massively disappointed. I really just... If I ever do a part 3 tier ranking, I think we all know where 28 Years is going to go. 28 Weeks Later, I think, is worse than the original, but not bad. Not bad, okay? Yeah, I mean, it still focuses on the outbreak. You learn more, like, there's like, oh, this particular person is not immune, but they're a carrier of the disease, which that was completely abandoned. They don't even touch on the fact that because the reason they got to save those kids in the second film is because they're like, look, they're precious, they're precious. There's something about their DNA or their genetic makeup that makes them carriers and whatever. They don't have symptoms. Completely abandoned. There's not even a mention of that in the third film. But yeah, worse than the original, but not bad. I think it's a good sequel. You gotta keep in mind, guys, worse than the original, but not bad is still a high mark, okay? It's still like a, oh yeah, like, you're not as good, but, like, you're not bad. Like, you're still a damn good sequel, you know? Next, Halloween 2, 2009. Yes, this is a direct sequel to Hot Rob Zombie's Halloween 2007. Okay, so that's what I'm putting this up against. I'm putting this Halloween 2 up against Rob Zombie's original because he rebooted it. So this is technically a direct sequel, okay? All right. I'm going to say, now this might be controversial to some of you guys. I'm going to say it's a disgraceful slap in the face to fans. Other than the first scene at the hospital when it's raining and it looks badass as shit, the rest of the film is garbage. It's trash, in my opinion. Yeah. Halloween 2 is a disgraceful slap in the face to fans. Halloween 2, 2009, Rob Zombie. Anyway, that is. I think even by comparison to the film he put out 2 years prior, it's garbage. The Conjuring 2. I'm not a massive fan of the Conjuring franchise. I've only seen the first Conjuring and the Conjuring 2. I knew there was a third one and a fourth one. You know. I really dug the first film. The first film is very... less is more. They don't show a whole lot. The movie doesn't peak early. It doesn't show you a bunch. It's very theater of the mind a lot up until the very, very, very end when they decide to show you something. Me and my dad went into the theaters to see The Conjuring 2 years ago, and I liked it. I'm going to have to give it... I mean, it's set over in England, so you get a nice little switch up of atmosphere, and I remember the scares being good. I remember the sound design being really good. At one point, like, one of the jump scares, like, about made me shit myself. And I remember thinking, okay, this isn't bad, you know. So I'm going to say worse than the original, but not bad. Worse than the original, but not bad. Yeah, I just don't think it's as good or better. Like, yeah, the original Conjuring is considered like top tier horror. Okay, and last is The Collection. This is the sequel to The Collector. If you guys have never seen, I feel these films are kind of under the radar. These are made by the same people who did Saw. And if you've never seen the original Collector is about this guy who collects people in these boxes. He's a serial killer. And basically it follows the story of this guy. He's a construction worker. He's broke. He owes people some money, or they're going to try to kill him or hurt his family. So while he's doing construction on this rich person's home, he decides to break in late at night to steal from their safe that they have in the house. And happens to be the Collector is in there. And he has to not only fight for his life, but try to save the lives of the family members, because the killer trapped them in there before they could even leave for vacation. And The Collection is a direct sequel, and it's about this. Basically, he has this giant warehouse filled with traps, and so it's just people getting picked off left and right. It's kind of like a Rob Zombie 31 situation, you know what I mean? And so I'm gonna say it is compared. Remember, this is all compared to the original. I'm gonna have to say it's fuck. I'm gonna say worse than the original, but not bad. I don't think it's bad. It still has great tension in it. It's closer to bad than some of the others that fall into this category, but it's still not a bad movie. Okay, it still has entertainment value. It still has some creepiness. The Collector is still like a creepy dude in this. It expands the lore a bit. And to be honest, if they put out a third film, I would kind of be stoked for that. I would, if they did a Collector 3 or whatever. But that's it, guys. Yeah, that's it. That is my tier ranking for the Part 2 horror sequels. All right. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with my choices. These are just, obviously I've probably seen more direct sequels than this in my life. But these are the ones that stuck out to me, that I have the most familiarity with, that I don't feel that I'm like pulling shit out of my ass to do the tier ranking. I can give you a somewhat of a not educated, but honest opinion on, because stuff I haven't seen 20 years, I'm not going to remember if it's, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's it, guys. Have a good one, guys. Peace out. Bye-bye.